Hi, I'm Matthias. In this new series of lessons called Essential Riffs, I'm going to show you some of the best riffs ever written in hard rock and heavy metal. In each of these lessons, I'll demonstrate the riff with on-screen tablature and then show you how to play it. Today we're going to learn the opening riff of 2 Minutes to Midnight from the Iron Maiden album Power Slave. Let's take a look. To start off this riff, we're going to play 2 notes on the open 5th string. This is your A string, and it's going to be 2 downstrokes. And what's great about this riff is you're going to be doing a lot of downstrokes very, very fast, so it's really good for working on your speed picking. So I'm starting off 2 downstrokes right here, 5th string. And then my index finger, I'm going to bar on strings 4 and 3. So that gives me a nice inverted power chord right there. Then after I play that, then I'm going back to the 5th string, playing that twice. And then with my 3rd and 4th finger, I'm going to bring those up to the 7th fret, also on strings 4 and 3. And then after that, I'm going back to the 5th string again, playing that twice. Back to my inverted power chord right there at the 5th fret. Playing the 5th string again twice. Starting to get a little pattern here, as you can see. Now, the second time that I go up to the 7th fret right here with my 3rd and 4th fingers, I'm going to have kind of an interesting pull-off. What I'm going to do is I'm playing the inverted power chord right here. I'm then going to just lightly, very lightly pull off to the open strings. So it's not really a very noticeable pull-off. You're not really hearing those open strings very, very clearly. It's just a very, very light pull-off. And then I'm going directly back with my 3rd and 4th fingers down right there. And then once they land, I want to put a little bit of vibrato into that chord. Now, the way to get this vibrato sounding really good is your 3rd and 4th fingers need to be really tight together right there, because they need to move together in one direction. So if they're not quite tight together and they're kind of moving out of whack a little bit, it's going to sound like an out of tune chord. But with vibrato, all you're doing, for chord vibrato especially in this case, is we're just giving a little bit of pressure, just pulling in towards the palm, just a little bit, and just moving the strings back and forth. Now we don't want it to sound too crazy, and we don't want it to be too wide, because it'll go out of tune. It's just a little bit of motion right there, and that makes it sound really, really good. So the first part of the riff is as follows. The second part of the riff starts the same way. 2 notes on the open 5th string, downstrokes. Going to the bar at the 5th fret on strings 4 and 3. Back to the 5th string. Then 3rd and 4th finger on the 4th and 3rd string at the 7th fret. Back to the 5th string again. Back to the bar at the 5th fret. Back to the 5th string again. But this time, instead of going back to the 7th fret, I'm going to slide back to the A5 right here. This is going to be barring on strings 4 and 3. So all these chords, everything is on 4 and 3. But this one right here, I'm actually going to have a 3-string chord. I'm going to play across strings 5, 4, and 3. And then after I play that chord, then I've got this cool little lick where I'm just going to play the open A string, then up to C, 3rd fret right here. I can use my 2nd finger because my 1st finger just played the A chord, so 2nd finger is readily available right there. Now that right there, I can use an upstroke if I want to. That works perfectly. And then I'll pull off. And you want to make sure with your pull off that you're not pulling up away from the string, but you're actually kind of plucking that string a little bit. You want to make sure you get that nice and clear. And that's the riff, and it simply just repeats. So here's the second half of that riff, nice and slow. This riff employs a technique called palm muting. What I'm doing is I'm placing the side of my picking hand right back here on the saddles, right where the string touches. And what's going to happen then is when I play that open 5th string, I'm going to get this very punchy, muted sound. So what it effectively does is make the note staccato as opposed to it ringing out like this. Now what you have to be careful of is if your hand is too far up the strings going towards the neck, you're not going to get the note to sound at all. So you've got to be right back here on the saddles. And you can even play around with it a little bit. As you move your hand, you can see where you start to lose the note. And even though it's called palm muting, again, it's not the palm of the hand, it's the side of the hand that's going to rest right there. And then you can also see just how relaxed my right hand is. My other fingers are just resting on the other strings, making sure that nothing else is ringing. And that's the really cool technique for this riff. And here it is up to speed. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Be sure to subscribe to my videos so you can stay updated with new riffs and other guitar lessons. If there's a riff that you want to learn and you can't find it, email me, and your request might be the next featured riff. And if you're just beginning guitar, check out my metal guitar method as well as my other lessons. I'm Matthias, now go forth and rock.